How did Jim Carrey find out about you guys?
I don't know. I think well, what the story was that I heard was that he first wanted Napalm Death to do it,
Oh, it's a rumor.
and
Okay.
yeah, and that they didn't want to do it or something. So we were like the second choice. He knew
Oh,
of us, or we were the
sick.
band that he thought of after they said no.
Mm.
So, he requested us from what I heard through Morgan Creek, through the production company that did the movie, and they contacted Metal Blade. And Mike Faley, who you met tonight, um, called me and said, Chris, uh, they want you to be in this movie. You know who Jim Carrey is? I'm like, yeah, man, he's funny as could be. I loved him as far as his stand up. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, man. And I went up to the rehearsal space and I told the guys. And I remember Alex said, I don't know, man. He didn't want to do it.
Oh
We
my
almost had to
God.
talk him into it, but he didn't. He thought
Wow.
it was like, he didn't know how it would
Yeah.
probably put in what light it would put the band, like
Hmm.
because it was a comedy, and I think he's pretty careful about that stuff as far as how death metal is perceived and everything, like
Mm. I mean, a little bit too over.
commercial maybe. Like
Yeah.
he told me, I remember he said because of the success of the song "Stripped, Raped, and Strangled," he told me he'd never write another song like that.
What?
Yeah,
Why?
I wanted there to be way more songs like that, and that's why I think you know Created to Kill was so technical and so like away from that song, from the bleeding.
Holy moly.
Yeah. So, but we did it. And I almost didn't make it down there because again I was smuggling weed.
Oh my
So this movie,
goodness.
this whole appearance might not have happened, or I might not have been in it because I was standing in line at the airport in Buffalo on our way down to Miami to do this movie, and I had a fucking half ounce of fucking weed stuffed down my pants. There was no security back then at airports, right?
Oh
So there
wow.
wasn't
I didn't
like
think
you
about
went
that.
through a pat down or a sniffer or a metal detector, even like maybe a metal detector. But I was standing in line to get my boarding pass, and I had a fucking bunch of weed stuffed down the front of my pants with a gram of coke in the middle of it.
Oh wow.
And up walks a fucking cop and a dog,
Wow.
and I started sweating profusely.
What the dog do?
Nothing. It walked on by again. It was the God or whoever said, "Don't,"
Yeah. Whoever the fuck you
So
believe in.
I went in the bathroom and
Shit.
did a line
Oh no.
and, and fucking flushed it, and got on the plane and went to Miami and did Ace Ventura.
Oh
I've never told that story. And for the record, I was never a big into coke or anything because,
yeah.
like, I told you earlier we were talking, but it just wasn't my thing. I did some here and there, but I
Yeah.
had a moment here and there. I had a moment doing like Valium and Xanax too, but that didn't
Yeah.
last long either.
Fuck,
I've
dude.
always tried to like um, alter my perception, and that's why I kind of quit smoking weed and quit drinking for the past 2.5 years because I altered my perception enough. I
Yeah.
wanted to try not altering my perception anymore.
Yeah.
So, but like, yeah, there's a bunch of different stories we could go into
Yeah.
about stuff like that.
Man. Did you talk to Jim at all?
Yeah, yeah. When we arrived on the set the first night, we weren't even doing anything. We just got there, and we went to one of the scenes that was being filmed. And he came out after he was done with his lines, and he was talking to us. He was cool. There's a story about that. Like I said to him, I said, just don't do that thing with your neck that you do for that fire marshal Bill deal, and
Yeah.
where he sticks his veins out of his neck. I said that really like sickens me. And he was like, that gets you sick, but you write all these lyrics that are about,
Yeah.
killing people. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, man, all the veins coming out of your
Oh,
neck.
yeah.
And he thought that was so funny. But like, he, I got to go like every night we were there. They took us up to the suite that they were editing like the dailies in. So I got to see them editing the film. The whole film was written on the fly. There was no script, man. There was like maybe a rough script about stuff, but he was writing it as they went. It was really wild. And I learned about like during like the music part of the when we were filming the music, when we were on stage and there was dialogue, but we were still in the background playing, there was no music playing. We couldn't make a sound. The crowd couldn't make a sound as far as moshing or cheering.
Yeah, that's
They
a
were
good point.
they're fake doing everything really
Yeah.
silent. They had to be silent. And these were all kids that they scouted the weekend before from a death metal show in Miami and stuff.
Fuck, that's
So
sick.
they got all extras from that. So we're on stage when he's talking in the audience to somebody. There's no music playing. There's no music for us to even sync up to. We're up there like airbanding to nothing.
Oh, you're a pro. At that.
I'm a pro at airbanding, so it came back to me right away.
It came back real quick.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah, but it was so cool to see how a movie was made because I'm a movie fanatic.